everybody, and welcome to RRLeagues Summer of Thunder and round 3 of the CrewChief BMW v Merc 92 series. I'm Simon Fillingham, and I'll be co-presenting this broadcast with Miguel Santiago Carew of the third round of Season 29 from Motorsport Arena Oschersleben here at RRLeagues. For those of you who don't know, RRLeagues is an international sim racing community hosting Race Room and R Factor 2 championships in a professional environment. We pride ourselves on offering a well-polished product for our drivers to embark on their virtual race careers. So if you want to be part of what's happening here, then please don't hesitate to find us at rrleagues.com. The series is sponsored by CrewChief, who has generously put two 1100 VIP prizes forward. CrewChief is the alternative race engineer for PC and console, and will enhance many racing sims, giving an extremely realistic and immersive experience. A new update to CrewChief this week has seen an improvement within the pit menu functionality in Race Room, which now allows the driver to make additional pit requests, such as box change all tyres, box fix front aero, box serve penalty, and a whole range of other commands. RRLeagues highly recommends this game-changing app, which is a free download at thecrewchief.org. Please always consider a donation to CrewChief if you enjoy using the software. So tonight we're in Germany at the Motorsport Arena Oschersleben. It's round 3 of 6, and this 3.6 kilometre circuit will provide a different kind of challenge to that experienced by the drivers 2 weeks ago at Bathurst. It offers little in the elevation change, but it still demands focus and precision of a driver, not least the 90-degree turn 1. Which will be the scene of lots of paint traded, especially on the opening lap. That immediately feeds into a sweeping long right-hander, and drivers will be looking for the wide line here to try and get the upper hand in the opening stages of the race, before heading down to turn 3, which will be one of the favoured overtaking spots tonight. Rest of the lap is quite fast and overtaking opportunities limited, as drivers file through the triple lefts, the fast chicane and the shell S's, with perhaps a last-ditch overtake attempt into the final corner Zeppelin. Of course, the new Turn 1 provided quite a controversial change to the circuit in 2007. What was designed to aid overtaking and spice up racing was seen by many as nothing more than a hotspot for first corner pile-ups. Hopefully the drivers will be made aware of the dangers in the briefing and show some caution to avoid such outcomes. Lap records. Robert Horvath holds the RRLeagues qualifying lap record from the Season 18 CrewChief series with a 1:29.157. That was in a Mercedes. The race lap record is that of Reinhard Berger's, which is a 129.557 in the BMW. We can take a quick look at the global DTM 92 leaderboard for Oschersleben, and it's no surprise to see the BMWs and Mercs in the top spots, as the characteristics of the circuit don't necessarily suit the Ford Mustangs, the Audis and the Opels that are also in this car class. So the race room record for this track is a 128.718 by Jan Lomjanski in the Benz. Vlastimil Lucas is the highest of the drivers in this series, recording a 129.5 in the Beamer. Many other RR League drivers well up the leaderboard, and I wouldn't be at all surprised to see records broken again tonight. We can now take a look at the standings after the opening 2 rounds. It's worth noting that the drop round score will be calculated into the standings after tonight's round. So we can see that Janko Glavac leads the Drivers' Championship after taking 3 wins out of 4 at Zolder and Bathurst. The Slovenian with an 89-point lead over Peter Backus in second. Alfarella sits in third, and the only other race winner, Radek Pavlicek, is in fourth. The Teams Championship shows a fairly commanding lead for 77, who is Janko and Ralph. CrewChief Megacorp Works team, consisting of Jim and Radek, lie in second. And it's a pretty close affair between the likes of SRT, BH Racing, Scuderia Ferrero and BFast Racing. Taking a look at the AM Cup standings, which is a new championship this season, Stefan Riedl leads the way on 105 points. The German is absent from today's race, so perhaps opportunity for the likes of Con, Britton, May and the rest of the chasing pack to make inroads into his lead. Each round we're introducing 3 new cars to our viewers, so you have a better awareness of the series drivers. This round we'll start with the number 14 BMW. So the number 14 BMW is the home of 2 very experienced RR Leagues drivers, and together they make Norfolk Enhance. Colin Barker is making his 182nd start at RR Leagues in tonight's opening race. The Englishman has been around the community since it evolved, making his debut over 2 years ago in Season 4, which was a Formula Race Room 3 series. Position 16 in Race 2 at Bathurst has been Barker's best result to date in this series. Noel Conn is Colin's teammate, and Season 29 is the 7th series that this duo have raced together from the same garage. The South African makes his 122nd start since his debut here almost 2 years ago. His best finish was 5th in Season 5, which was another DTM 92 series, showing he does have pace in these cars, so Con will be keen to find some pace here at Oschersleben. Noel is competing in this series AM Cup, and together they have 302 starts between them. making them the most experienced team in this competition. The number 6 Merc is that of Tom Kohonen and Aaron May, and together they make KM Racing. KM Racing opted for the Mercedes 130e and the number 6 Rosberg livery. Formed for season 25, Group 5, KM Racing appear to be enjoying a strong bond between their drivers, with Aaron May showing great signs of development as a driver. 52 races under his belt, Aaron will be looking to build on his P12 finish at Bathurst, where he was best AMP finisher in race 1. Tom Kohonen has shown great pace since his debut at RRLeagues 22 races ago, including a win and 4 podiums. Podium position was cruelly snatched from the Swede on the season opener at Zolder, as Tom unfortunately ran out of fuel in the last lap, resulting in a hurtful DNF. He certainly got some speed though, and could play a part in the outcome of this series championship. The number 15 BMW is occupied by SRT, whose drivers are Jas Forsberg and Nemanja Minojevic. This is the 4th series that the pairing has come together to represent this team, and it can't be denied it has been a rather successful partnership. Champions of Season 27 GTR1 and top 3 finishers in Season 18 and Season 22 show the drivers of real pace. Jas Forsberg starts his 157th race at RRLeagues. The Frenchman, always a strong challenger, will be looking to kickstart his campaign tonight after being blithed by misfortune in the opening 2 rounds. Nemanja Minojevic is a well-recognised name at RRLeagues and has 99 starts under his belt. Tonight would have been his 100th start, but chances are that Nemanja will unfortunately miss tonight's race. 9 wins in his career, which includes taking the checkered flag in round 2 of the Season 5 DTM 92 series here at Oschersleben, so he does know how to win here in the BMW. The Serbian was one of my picks for the championship, but a DNF at Bathurst on the back of an indifferent result at Zolder, and obviously being absent tonight has left Nemanja possibly out of the running now, which I know he won't be happy about. So with 15 minutes until qualifying, the drivers will now be in the briefing room. Let's see if we can jump in there and see what they're being told.
Fun fact, it's 4 years ago this week since I started the app, so there you go. It's been being rude to us all for 4 years, which is quite nice. So let's get on with the briefing. Now, as usual with this series, it's a standing qualifying session, so it's a 15-minute open pit lane qualifying session. We expect you all to use your pit limiters in qualifying, and anybody caught blasting through the pits at warp 9 will get a penalty, so please remember that. After the 15-minute quali session, we've got a pair of 25-minute race. Race 2 will have a reverse grid for the top 10 positions from race 1, as always. Now, there's no warm-up session and only a brief pause between quali and race 1 and race 1 and race 2. So make sure that you're ready and good to go at the end of the quali session and at the end of race 2. As usual, the first lap of both races will be stewarded automatically, so if there are any incidents in lap 1, they'll get picked up by the stewards. If there are any incidents past lap 1, please submit them, and we'll take a look at them. We do try to be as impartial and as fair as possible, but it's always best not to be investigated, so please check your mirrors, listen to your crew if you're using it, and try to race as clean as we can. I think it's worth making a particular mention about turn 1. Turn 1 here is just ridiculous. The rest of the track's amazing, but turn 1's bloody awful. So let's try really hard not to all end up on top of each other as we hit that first chicane, because it's just going to make for a crappy night, and it's also going to look terrible on the stream as well. So take it easy into turn 1 at the start of both races. Keep your wits about you. No dive bombs, please. Just give a little room for the first couple of corners until things get settled down, and then we can all get stuck into each other, okay? Now, there should be no pit stops tonight, but if anybody does need to use the pits, the entry's fairly straightforward. There's a chance of being collected as you hit the pit lane entry between the last 2 corners, but I think we'll probably be okay. Pit lane speed limit will be enforced by the app as usual. I think it's 60 miles an hour, 80 kilometers an hour here. Might be mistaken. The session settings, as always for this series, we've got wrecker prevention off. We've got flags set to visual only, but do please pay attention to them, because if there's a yellow flag as you approach turn 1, you're probably not going to see the incident, and you're probably going to turn in and find it all blocked. So please pay attention to the flags, but the game will not enforce them. The cut track rules are set to drive-through, and as always, the game will make a judgment as to whether you've gained time on a cut. So particularly as you approach that sequence of high-speed left-handers halfway around the lap, if you pull it too far out to the right before you turn in, you may well end up with a drive-through. So take care there. I think that's pretty much everything. Now, there's a couple of penalties outstanding from the last races. We've got a no qualification penalty for Petter Peck and John Patterson. Chaps, if you could remain in your pit box for the qualifying session, that would be great. If you get spotted out on track during the qualifying session, then you will end up getting disqualified from the next round. So please remember. And one final penalty, Elio Fernandez, you have a drive-through penalty. So you're free to qualify, but please, within the first 3 laps of the race, if you could serve that drive-through, that would be fantastic. I think I've covered everything, kind of blasted through it, but has anybody got any questions? No? Cool. Right, then, let's get on with it. It should be a great night, and I'll see you on the grid, guys, okay?
Cheers, Jim. Good luck all.
Okay, thank you, Jim.
Cheers.
So that was the briefing. Great insight by Jim there into what we expect of our drivers. From the lights, just to show a bit of caution and not ruin everyone's race. Which is not too bad here. Everyone has respect for each other. So we're not expecting that to be too much of a problem, but it's always good to get the message across in the briefing so the drivers know exactly what's expected of them. At this point, I would like to welcome my good friend Miguel to the commentary box. Good evening, Miguel. Ready for another cracking race tonight? Okay, obviously Miguel's not quite ready for us yet, so just under 10 minutes left of the practice session, and currently it's Radek Pavlicek setting the pace in the Mercedes-Benz. He's racing for CrewChief Megacorp Works team. So a 1:29.480, which is a very good time. Just a reminder that Season 18, which was our last CrewChief season, the race at Oschersleben, Robert Horvath took pole position with a 1:29.157. So that's the current RRLeagues record. But they have been well and truly beaten in the opening 2 rounds, Janko Glavac, showing some great pace and even beating the overall race room record at Zolder, and I believe he got very close at Bathurst too. So I believe Janko is with us. I think I saw him earlier. Obviously a late joiner to proceedings tonight, as many could be, as the Formula 1 Canadian Grand Prix is clashing with the race, but hopefully all the series drivers will make it for the qualifying session tonight. Yeah, here's Janko, our current championship leader. Shown incredible pace. I'll expect nothing less tonight as well. Colin Barker, another featured drivers in the teams tonight, racing for Norfolk Enhance, alongside Noel Conn. A very robust pairing, shall we say, Noel and Colin. Always supportive of RRLeagues events. Stalwart members of the community. Miguel, have you joined us? Are you there yet? Doesn't sound like it, so Tom Kohonen, slightly 500ths behind Radek. It's evident that him and Aaron have been putting many hours in on the practice server this week. Both well into the 129s I've had reported, so they're both on good form. Aaron May currently in 6th. I was going to say he's our best AM driver at the minute, but I'm pretty certain Visar Jikalai in 5th. He's also an AM Cup driver. John Patterson also showing great pace in 3rd. One half of B Fast Racing, together with Yellow Ooms. Let's just see if we can ride on board with...
Hey Simon, sorry to interrupt the broadcast here, but I can't seem to hear you on Discord, but I can hear others in Discord, and I can hear you in the YouTube chat. So.
Okay, Miguel, we'll have a quick look, see what we can sort out.
Maybe your microphone is not enabled. I can take it for a little while from here until I can hear you. So we're finalizing the practice session here, as we have 24 drivers on the grid for now, and Janko Glavac at the moment taking the top time, so just beating Radek Pavlacek by a quite a big margin, almost half a second. Let me turn down my my sound a bit. Yeah, so this Oschersleben track provided some great action in our last season that we ran here with the M92s, and that will be no different today. It's notoriously difficult to pass on, and I think all of the races that I had here personally on this track, in both GT1 and GT3 missions, as well as Formula 3 cars in Assetto Corsa, were always very close, close-fought races where the top drivers were separated by mere tenths of seconds. Cannot get his microphone sorted, or I can't hear him, then I'll hand it over back to him. Just put something in the chat if you want.
Hi Miguel, can you hear me now? Hi Miguel, I think we're sorted.
Yes, we are.
Magic. Yeah.
Just in time.
User error on my part.
No problem. Right, all set to go. I think the guys are getting ready.
Yes. Ready for another evening's fun with these cars here tonight. I see Janko was just gone quickest. No surprise there,
Yes.
perhaps.
Not really. And I was just going through the driver list. I think the only driver is Pizar. I don't think he did race 1. At least I don't remember. So yeah, it'll be nice to see what he can do today. He's very much on the pace, it seems. Well in the top 10. So let's see if he can take that pace through to qualifying in the race.
Yeah, Vizar was here first round, second round he wasn't here. Teammate of Greg for Pulp Friction Racing.
Alright. Seems like the Mercedes are doing quite well here. Then as from 14th we have a lot of BMW. The cars still, as you said in the beginning, still very evenly matched for sure.
Yes,
real advantage.
I don't think there's too much.
Either.
Yeah, not too much between them. Again, gear ratios will need to be spot on here.
Yes, indeed. You don't want to be shifting up or down at the moment. You want as much power out of the.
And much drive. Yeah,
I was just saying when you were away, it's very difficult to pass here. So you really want to keep your speed up, and yeah, the last sector is most important in that as we go into qualifying already for this Oschersleben race, and everybody streams out of the. It's Yellow Ohms first out of the pits.
Yes, interesting. Aaron was talking to me during the week, and he was telling me how he had a 6-gear setup for this for the race. My experience here in season 18, that 4 gears was plenty. Really, could have really got away with 3, but 4 gave you that bit more drive, and it just fitted better with the track. But 6 gears, and he's well into the 29s, so he's got some serious pace here.
Seems to be working indeed, but yeah, going through that 6 gear gearbox in this race will not be easy for sure. That will be a challenge getting that right. But yeah, if he gets the ratios spot on for going into or out of a corner, then that shouldn't really hold him back. We'll see what he can do in qualifying, and let's hope indeed Aaron and Tom can have a good qualifying and a good race. They put in a lot of time, if I saw it correctly, so let's hope they get rewarded.
Yellow Ohms then, the first to start his flying lap, will ride with him.
Yep.
It's just a moment of picking the right time to accelerate out of the long turn 2, just so you time it right and clip the exit curb.
Yeah, did quite a good job there, I feel. Late apex here for turn 3. And let's see what he does here. Well, he got the last 2 apexes at least, so.
Yeah, and then it's got to really attack this chicane, taking as much curb as you can get away with. And force it not to get too early on the power through that corner onto the straight, otherwise it'll throw you out onto the verge and lose valuable time. Always tricky to find the braking point for this corner, I think. There's no obvious markers, so it does take quite a lot of practice and getting used to.
Yeah, I think that chicane is really the most difficult corner of the circuit. It's deceivingly difficult.
Yeah.
Let's see what kind of time Jelle puts in. .29.8 for him, and Britain going fastest now. Tom Korhonen going fastest, 29.5. So low 29s or mid 29s are the time to beat for now, and Tom was showing good pace in practice, so this will be a good benchmark to follow up on. As we can see, top 10ths of a second as Bacchus goes into first with a blistering lap, 29.1. So I'm guessing we will for sure see 28s here in the qualifying session. I was wondering, Simon, the track limits for this track. Is there any risk of drivers picking up warnings during the qualifying and invalidating their lap, or is it quite lenient here on the outside of these, the last turn here, for example?
Yeah, well, of course, in qualifying we don't get any leeway. If you get more than 2 wheels over the white line, then it's a spoilt lap. So yeah, I can't think it's going to be too difficult, really. Drivers should have really had enough practice, even maybe just into turn 1 where you might try and take too much apex, yeah. But yeah, I think that's about our only worry, really. Let's see if we can find Janko. Yeah, we're already with him. Purple first sector by 2/10.
Yeah, 5 drivers still to set a lap.
Yeah, not so good middle sector by Janko, so it won't be this lap, I fear. Alfarella up to second.
Yeah, the times are very, very close, for sure. So, and we still have Petr Pekočka, Patterson, and Fernandez having to set a lap. So
I think they have Petra Peck and Jon Patterson both have no qualification penalties, so they won't be participating.
Tom going as well on his own time. But for now, it's our number 1 driver, Peter Bacchus, at the top position for him to start this race, I think, and it's been quite a long time since he took a pole position, I feel. Can't remember it in any case.
No, not since season 27, when he was in the GTR 1 Championship, but yes, not really found his true form so far this season, this Summer of Thunder season, but shown us a bit of what he can do tonight.
Yeah, and he keeps at the top of the rankings, so he is doing something right for sure. As Korhonen goes up into second, 3/10 behind. So 8 minutes still to go. We're halfway through the session, and everyone is now put in their benchmark times, and now it's all about going for that ideal time and taking the risks through, for example, the fast left-hand 3 apex turn is where you can win some time, and for sure through the last that chicane on the last sector is very important to get right and to keep your minimum speed up.
Yeah, that triple left, it's so essential to set your balance right. Just dab on the brakes perhaps as you make your left, and then it's all about just feeding the car through and clipping them apexes and not running too wide, otherwise you'll be a risk of flipping the car as you hit the apex, the exit curbs.
Yeah, through the field. Up leader Stefan Riedl is not joining us, so he's in first position by quite a margin in the AM Cup. Noel Kam, second place driver, and he is driving here. He's in 19th at the moment, so he can take some points, and all the rest of the field can take some points on Stefan here for sure. So
yes, we're into the 28s. Miguel Radex has just posted a 128.9 to take pole position, so he's the first one into the 28s. Will he be joined? Sorry, will he be joined by any others?
Quite sure he will. Quite sure he will. Only just into the 28s, but well, Pavlacek had a great outing at Bathurst 2 weeks ago. We will want to build on that. He's fourth in the championship standings. It's well, Janko Glavac and Peter Bakus are in a league of their own. It seems at the moment there quite big gaps. But then, as from third spot, Ralph Orella, Pavlacek, Dorve, it's very, very close. But a lot of points on for every race, of course. So
yes, and with the drop round score coming in from next round, it really does tighten things up for the time being too. So
indeed. Here's Vizag up into 15th. If I see it correctly, for the AM Cup, it's Aaron May taking pole position for now. In 10th he is, so only 5 minutes to go now, so it's really key to get out on track now and trying to get a good lap in.
Just riding with Clive Bitters around the final corner, AM Cup driver.
Yeah.
Has some good pace, so we'll be looking to challenge Aaron. Not quite.
Just behind. Yep. Just behind Aaron. So good battle for pole position in the AM Cup. As close or even closer as for the general stand. Janko putting in purple sectors. Let's see if he can keep it together for sector. Only the braking for the last turn to be done. He gets it turned in and on the power.
Looks good.
It looks good indeed. And he goes first, yes.
28.7. Brilliant. That is a new race room record.
Once again. Okay.
Unfortunately, these laps don't get recorded on the leaderboard, but the previous best time was a 128.718. So just.
No, only just. Yeah.
Just.
Yeah, I was just pulling that page up, and I was thinking maybe Pavlacek also got a record time, but he was just off.
Just off, yeah. Record BMW time was a 29.002. So Peter Backus, I think he was just outside that, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, 29.6 for Peter. So.
Well, he is improving on his own time, so he might be getting close for sure. So as we near the end of qualifying, if you have any questions about the race, about the series, or are free to ask in the chat, and we'll try to pick up on that during the. I would get boring, but that will not happen today, I fear. So if you have any questions, we'll try to answer those. As I think now everybody should be on the track for their last attempts at an improvement, because we have 2 minutes to go, and when the timer reaches 0, that's session. No finishing laps, so you need to get your fast lap started very, very quickly with a 90-minute lap, more or less. Second, Aaron May exactly 1 second behind the pole lap time of Janko Glavac. Or if they can, and they can here.
So Ralph Varela setting his personal best in the first sector.
By quite a margin as well. To almost 3/10. That's challenging for the front row of the group.
I think Miguel, that 3/10 is the gap to Janko. I believe. Otherwise, I think it would be a minus.
Yeah, right.
But two good sectors for Ralph so far as he exits onto the start-finish straight. He'll be looking to improve on his 5th position, but no, it stays in 5th.
Yep. We have Aaron May in 10th.
Yeah, still 20 seconds of the qualifying session to go, even though the standings have come up. Don't think Aaron's going to make it round.
So, quite some people that will get left out here at the end of this. So chances are it will be Janko Glavac on top. Rest of the guys going into the pit, so it's a pole position again for Janko Glavac. Now let's see what he can do during this first 25-minute race, will we? Any bets for this first race, Simon?
No, I think all bets are off. I think it's Janko's, unless Peter can muscle his way through on turn 1 or turn 2, and it might make it difficult because it's, as you say, it's a notoriously difficult circuit to make any clear-cut overtaking opportunities.
True. It is, however, quite easy to make a mistake, so we'll see if they can all keep it together. And indeed, the lap 1, turn 1 will be a challenge for the 24 drivers here on the grid. So let's hope everybody can make it through cleanly and have a good start to this race. Waiting for the lights. And off we go. It's a bad start for Tom Corona.
So Reddick's got a challenge on the inside, perhaps.
Yeah. Can he brake late? Yes, he goes for it.
Always run wide.
Ooh, very, very wide. Glavac goes back into first position. Yep, he went around the inside. And very, very close there. The bottom end of the top 10.
Looks like the other guys got excited, braking into turn 1 and overshot the exit. There's a car off in the background.
Yep. That's David Dorga, I think, was one of the victims. He's in last position now. Aaron May down into 23rd position, so also losing out, unfortunately. But everything now settling down a little bit.
Jim Britton's had 2 or 3 places from the start up into 7th. I think he started 9th or 10th, I believe.
Yeah, and John Patterson with this no qualification penalty already making it up to P17.
Yeah, that's a great effort.
Good clean start from him. His teammate Jelle Ooms is in 6th, also doing very well, as we already finished lap 1 of this race, and quite a gap for Janko to Radek. He was challenged on turn 1, but then got away anyway. In the AM Cup, it's Vizar at the moment in the top spot for this race. Noel Kahn is right behind him, so that's the battle for the lead in the AM Cup in this race. Oh, side by side for Jim and Jelle. Jim puts himself on the inside. Will he muscle his way through? That's what you could call it, but he has to stay behind. It was a nice try by Jim. I think that's a good strategy to try and overtake there. It's one of the rare spots you could overtake. Once again, late braking. He gets it turned in now, but has to leave room on the inside.
It's
and he gets through.
Yes, yeah. Oh, there's a little bit of contact. But thankfully, the drivers look like they've been able to continue.
Yeah, that was Lucas on Ooms.
Top 4 pulling away slightly from top 5, and a little bit of a gap to Jim, but I'm sure he'll soon be on the back of that pack.
And Greg followed by his teammate in the most noticeable livery on the grid, and it's the top 10. And then it's a 5-second gap behind. Well, as we always say, that 10th spot is very important for race 2. So the guys behind, Clive Britton, Becker, they will want to get closer to that top 10 to take advantage of any mistakes being made on the front.
Just ride with Ralph for a moment while he's having a close battle with Tom ahead.
Okay. It's very difficult to clip the curbs and lose speed in that final sector.
Yeah, you just got to keep them front wheels off the sausage curves on the apexes. Looks like it's got a good run, but Tom defend. The inside's not always the best place to be on the into turn 1. If Ralph could get round the outside, then we'd have the advantage into turn 2, but he wasn't far enough alongside there.
You can almost look into Tom's gearbox. Well, exhaust pipe, I should say.
These Mercedes had a slight update in this week's race room patch. Only to do with the sounds, though, a slight sound tweak for the Mercedes. And nothing under the bonnet that will affect performance. Clive now.
Colin Barker is in a nice fight, or looking at a nice fight in front of him.
Yeah, so that battle is for the lead of the M Cup. Oh no, it's for second place in the M Cup.
Yeah,
Colin.
nice group of BMWs there from P8 until P16. Clive trying to go around the outside.
As Clive and Jazz managed to muscle their way past Noel. Noel now has his teammate Colin behind for company.
Yeah, and the gap between 11th, 10th and 11th is already up to 10 seconds almost, due to this this battle here. Led by Clive Britton, who goes wide. Can just take advantage here. There's no overlap yet, and then making this left-hander as wide as you can. The gap at the front was over 4 seconds at some point. Well, it is again now, but Pavlacek keeping that gap steady once again. So let's see if he can do the same as in Bathurst and close the gap down in the later stages of the race. As you have a nice battle brewing in the background there as well.
Yes, it looks like Janko and Radek have got the pace to keep ahead of 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th.
Yep. Oh, that's a small tap from Ralph on Tom. He's on the inside now.
I think it's Jim.
Oh, sorry.
Attacking. Is it? Yeah, Jim. I think Ralph had a bit of a dodgy turn 1. Gave Jim the opportunity to get his nose alongside, and Julie took it. So Ralph's up in backer position.
Yeah, and Jim moving up. He was there was quite a gap between him and the group in front, and he closed that down very rapidly. So he's showing good pace, and he's not far off 3rd spot for a podium. So.
Oh, Jim's had a bit of a moment coming out of the fast right onto the back straight, and Ralph has managed to get back ahead. So it didn't last long for Jim. It's gone a bit wide there as well, so he's obviously pushing as hard as he can.
Yeah, very hard. You can see that on the pictures here as well. Vlastimir Lucas. Didn't see him in a lot of action yet, but he's in 8th spot and chipping away the laps. He's being hunted down by Metcalf and Vizar.
Yes, Vizar will prove difficult to get past, just like Greg behind. So if they get together, that'll be a great contest.
Yes, for sure. And Vizar at the moment looking quite comfortable in the AMCAP lead. He has a nice cushion and a good train of cars to follow. I always find that that helps with concentration, being in a group of cars and seeing what lines they take, learning from them.
Absolutely, yes, and not having to look in your rearview mirror too much to defend.
Indeed. So just having a look at lap times. Best lap time is for Janko 128.7. Nobody else set any 28 lap times. But then on the last lap it was a 29.3 for Janko, 29.5 for Radek, and 29.7 for Bakus. So Glavac really putting the pressure on the guys behind. Another 28.7 for him. So he's on fire. He's going very quickly here in this race.
interesting that Vizar there has just finished a lap. That was his first authenticated lap, shall we say. All of his other laps he must have exceeded track limits at some point. So that was
Indeed.
lap 8, and that was his first complete lap, shall we say.
Yeah. And looking further down the grid, it's there's also a battle between Dino Pereira and Noel Khan for 21st and 22nd position. So it's not always big battles at the front. It's the whole field that is battling. Also David Kochka and Nick Hockham, very closely fighting each other. But there's only one screen at a time we can look at.
Yeah. Petra Peck, Aaron May, David Dahl look like they're having a close battle as well. David making his way back through the field after that first lap off at turn 3.
And Colin Barker getting past Clive Britton just now as well. We see Vizar now slightly dropping off the back of that top 10 battle behind Greg. So losing a little bit of pace, but the gap to Jess Forsberg behind stays quite big.
Yeah, looks like quite a tasty contest for position 13.
Indeed, and we're already halfway through this 25-minute race, so that's how quickly it goes. A 29.4 for Glavac this lap around, and a 29.1 for Pavlacek, so gaining back a little bit of time, but of course there's a 5-second gap to bridge, and that will not be easy if Janko doesn't make any mistakes. Aaron May, he dropped down in lap 1, he dropped down to P23. He's made his way back up to P15, so he's having a nice race.
Yeah, we're just looking back at Aaron now from Petra.
Yeah.
And the chasing bunch.
Indeed, he's holding them off, and I think also looking to the front to gain some more spots. I think he was hoping to be in the top 10 here. Very surely had the pace for it, but yeah, an unfortunate incident probably in the first lap decided otherwise. That's always a risk when you put in a lot of laps, a lot of time.
That always seems to be the way, doesn't it? You're looking forward to a race, you've practiced up everything as you want, and then I don't know, you're just that eager for the race that you're not fully focused, perhaps. But that all comes with experience.
Yes, indeed.
And you've got to go through these lows or disappointments to become the driver that you need to be.
Indeed, but well, Aaron showing he's not beaten down by that slight negative here at the start of the race. He's still fighting Petra Peck in front, and Petra will have to look out because the Mercedes is putting up the pressure. The gap at the front now staying around 5.5 seconds. Well, as I say that, it goes up to 6.5 seconds. So.
Oh, Aaron's got ahead, I believe.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he
and
did
David
pass.
Dahl looks like he's into the barriers again. I'm not sure what happened there.
He's dropping down. Gets going again, but his bonnet is bent.
Yeah, it looks like Max Sass is waiting for David.
Yep.
So obviously a touch there between them. Not catching a break, David, in this season's CrewChief Championship, it seems.
Yeah, indeed. It's not had the run or not had the luck that he wanted. The two-time driver champion in the touring cars. So these are also touring cars. Should fit his taste. Of course, these 90s DTM cars are something completely different from the WTCR cars that we raced last in Chills and Thrills.
Looking at the track map, you can
But I'm
see the
sure-
lead that Miguel Janko has over Radek, and the gap between 10 and 11. Looks like Jazz got his work cut out to try and get that vital P10 position.
Indeed, the gap still 10 seconds. Not really coming down. Jazz, well, his best lap is 2/10 quicker than Vizar, so that's not really massive, I must say.
Now
And
all
Jim Britton still sliding it around, but he's not that close to Ralph anymore. So got past him, but then dropped back a bit after a mistake. As we reach 10 viewers here for this race, which is might be a new record, I think.
welcome viewers.
Welcome, everyone. Indeed. Oh,
Peter Backers, his gap at the top of the RRLeagues rankings has been reduced. It's still number one, of course, but the gap has closed. I think it's more of a case of Peter's fallen back a little bit in this season. But
Yep.
the likes of Robert and Ralph have got a lot closer to Peter, so Peter's showing good form in his first race, so
yeah.
all's going to plan
Robert,
so far.
Horvath not racing here today, and behind him, it's Glavac who will probably get a bit closer once again after this race. Pretty sure.
Yeah, definitely. Our most informed driver is Janko, not surprisingly. But yes, a shame for Robert that he's really unable to race these Sunday series.
Yeah. Yeah, he would have been right there in the top 10, top 5 for this series for sure. And he is doing his best in the Flat 6 series, but that's also a series where the level seems to be very, very high in the
Yes,
top 10. It's very
seems to
difficult
just-
to get into the top 10 there. But with new drivers in our series come new challenges and new opportunities. So I think everybody can still learn. There's no perfect driver at RRL yet, and there never will be. But some are getting very, very close. And David showing 100% damage on his car. Let's hope it still drives as before. Well, 132.5 on his last lap. That's not great. Yellow Ohm still in 7th position, keeping Jim Britton, keeping the crew chief honest. I think Ralph Arella might be taking P4 still before the end of this race. We have 5 minutes left to go, and he's putting the pressure on.
Yes, he'll certainly be making Tom think. Well, Tom's done well to fend him off this far. Tom goes a bit
Has to go
defensive.
defensive, so Good run here by Ralph. At the moment, as we reach the final stages of this race, it looks like the AM Cup will go to Vizar, and he will be rewarded with a pole position for race 2. So that will be something to look forward to. See how he copes with that pressure, especially with the turn 1 that we have here today.
Yeah, it's looking like a front row lockout for Pulp Fiction Racing for race 2.
Yeah, indeed. And the gap at the front still 6 seconds. Nobody able to touch Janko here in this race. There was that slight overlap at the start, but unfortunately Pavlacek couldn't keep it together there to make a pass on Janko.
Elio Fernandez down in 22nd. Elio had a drive-through penalty that he had to serve within the first 3 laps of this race, so that'll explain why he's so far down.
Yeah.
Still, credit to him for keeping going, and he's made 2 or 3 positions. So some good points. Always better to finish with some points rather than a DNF.
That's for sure. Ralph now, well, he has been closer, and in the AM Cup, Vizar is followed by Aaron May. So Aaron making it up to P2 in his class, and Clive Britton is 2 spots behind him in P16. So they will be happy with that podium spot, as we still have the battle between Pereira and Kochka for 21st and 20th position. So it's going on through the whole field.
Yeah, I think the battle to focus on is that of Tom and Ralph.
Yeah,
His
indeed.
closing few seconds. Of course, as happens in the last 2 races, that there's been cases of under-fueling. So,
yeah, indeed.
hopefully
I
by
just
now.
saw the gap at the front come down by 1 second suddenly, and got excited, but it's back up to 6.5 seconds. I don't think Janko will make the same mistake. Will make the same mistake twice.
No. Of course, Janko, teammate of Ralph, but 77. So another
Yeah, so great moments. And Jim Britton leading the group for P6. And Vizar seems to be one of the loneliest drivers on the grid at the moment, as it's getting very, very close here behind Jim. Vlastimil Jelle trying to unsettle the crew chief himself in his own series. And Ralph trying everything he can, but at the moment Tom is soaking up all that pressure and just staying in front. This right-left chicane always got me scared when running through it with these kind of cars. It's always a bit of a gamble what the car will do.
Yeah, you've got to give a bit on the first apex so you can have a
Indeed.
good one out of
As
the second
timer-
exit.
The timer reaches 0, so that's Janko Glavac taking the win here at Oschersleben. Oh, and Ralph finishing just behind Tom, but that was very, very close for P4. And here behind, John Patterson in 13th. Also,
Did
rounding
Janko-
up the final
Was the
time.
race over before Janko crossed the line then? Or was this the last lap?
I think this is. I think the race is over. But now you're making me doubt. I saw 0 and not sure. Seems like the guys are still racing.
I'm just looking at
for the,
Janko now.
P20.
No, Janko's
No, it's
definitely
not,
not
no.
racing.
But Dino and Nick Hockham still are here, going through the final corner. They are teammates, it seems.
Yep.
And Dino will finish in front of Nick. He passed him on the final corner. So it's Janko Glavac taking the win, 4 seconds in front of Pavlacek. Then Peter Bakus 10 seconds back. And look at that gap between Tom and Ralph, 1/10 of a second only. Across the finish line side by side. And it's already time for race. We have a very short break, and we have the reverse grid order with Vizar Gicoli in the pole position for this second race at Oschersleben.
Yes, it'll be another challenge for the fast drivers starting mid-grid here, having to fight their way through fairly. Let's hope there's no big incident at turn 1 to give anyone some easy passes. Let's hope it all passes through without incident.
Yes, indeed. So lights are on. And we're off again. It's a good start by Greg on the inside of his teammate. Will he risk the move? No, he brakes quite early and gets it turned around. He's on the outside now.
Yeah, looks like
Not a
Vizar
bad place
got
to be
tangled
in.
up on the inside a bit.
Oh,
Should
that's
have the
Greg,
inside line into the turn 3.
Indeed, Greg taking P1 and everybody getting through turn 1 cleanly, it seems. Everybody's still running. So that's nice to see. Vlastimil up into P2, passing Vizar. Side by side action through the whole field here.
Yeah, it's a job nowhere to look.
Indeed. Oh, and a bit of a slide there for Jazz. Yeah, Jazz dropping down the order down to the very last position. Yeah, indeed. Not sure what caused that tank slapper there for him, but he has still plenty of time to try and recover. That's Greg Metcalf. Finishes up lap 1 here of race 2 at Oschersleben in first spot. And Raymond Hadders looks like he really cut the course. Flat, almost going for the inside, but he opts against it. Janko Glavac making it up to P7, getting past his teammate Ralph Orella. Where's Pavlacek? He's in P5, so he's moving up a bit quicker. He got past Peter Bakus as well. Tom Korhonen lost out a bit. He's in P12, so he didn't have a great start to his second.
Yeah, so it's Pulp Fiction Racing in 1 and 3. CrewChief Megacourt Works team 4 and 5, and 77 in 7 and 8. So great teams battle going on at the front of the field here as well.
Yeah, indeed. Oh, big slide there for Vizar.
Yeah, it might present the opportunity to Radek to attack into the S's.
Well, good defensive move by Visa there. Late braking and he keeps it together. Wow, very nice. Jas Forsberg has already rejoined at the end of the queue, so he's now getting ready to start passing people. First up is Raymond Harders. He has to serve a drive-through penalty for cutting the track. Just
Radek's attacking Visa around the outside, and he's made it past.
Very nice pass there by Radek.
This battle between Greg and Vlastermill will be a classic, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was Jim passing Visa, by the way. It was not.
Indeed, it was. Yes.
So Jim getting in front of his teammate at some point. I think we missed that.
We must have missed that, yeah.
Radek follows through, almost. Bakus almost rolling the car.
2 wheels. So Visa dropping back. Now has Glavak and Arella behind him.
Yeah, this is shaping up to be a very nice battle. Everyone almost covered by that back straight, and Janko trying to get past Vizar as well, but he will have to stay while long. Vizar is not giving up that easily. He is leading the AM Cup still at the moment. Closest contender will be let's see, John Patterson. Is he in the AM Cup? No, he's not, sorry. It's Clive Britton then. His closest contender. Vlastimil putting the pressure on Greg.
Yep, Janko's got past Visa now, so Janko up to P5.
Up to P5 already. Yeah. Britton and Pavlacek look very, very strong here today.
Yes, I agree. Oh. Jim not
braking here on the grass.
I think it was Jim who gave him a nudge, but couldn't quite be sure.
Yeah, indeed. Rejoining very, very slowly Vlastimil. I hope his car is somewhat okay. And Jim doing the very gentlemanly thing of trying to wait for Vlastimil. He's in P15. That will be a long wait. I think Jim now opted against it, but lost out, of course. Back down to P7, which puts Janko into P3 already now, behind Radek Pavel.
Yes, it's how quick it can change. It looks like it was going to be shaping up to a great battle at the front, and it still will be, I'm sure. But 2 big players gone now, Jim and Vlastimil. So Arella 5th, Backus 6th, Jim 7th. Is he going to... He's waited for this long. Maybe he ought to return the position. It'll be a shame for him to drop them, lose them positions, and then still risk a penalty.
Yeah, indeed, but it looks like he keeps going.
Yeah, maybe he wasn't at fault. We can't be sure.
Could also be the case. Indeed. So it's now Pavlacek holding or trying to hold up Janko Glavac, and that might give Metcalf the opportunity to eke out the gap that he needs to stay out in front and take a race win here in this series. These are still keeping it very tight in P4, driving very, very well. In front of Ralph Arella, he will want to follow through and get on the back of his teammate. Peter Backus was on 2 wheels earlier, but he's not slowing down.
Yes, I believe Ralph really does need to make a move on Vizar as soon as he can to
Yeah, indeed.
stop these three guys getting away too much.
Yeah. Well, for sure, that should be his main priority. Of course, yeah, Visa doing a great job for the team now, holding these guys up and only giving Greg, Radek and Janko to worry about. Top 3 now within 1 second. Let's have a look at the lap times. Last lap for Glavac 29.1. Metcalf was over 1 second slower in that last lap, so Janko with some pace in hand, it seems. And Ralph now on the inside. He's now on the inside for this fast left-hander. Can he keep it together? Yes, he can.
Peter's trying to follow him through.
Yeah. Ooh, that will be tight here on the last turn, but they keep it clean. And Visa stays behind. He
Yes,
will,
and Jim's
try
going
the
to take
defensive move.
advantage of them both.
Yeah. And Greg having to go very, very defensive on turn 1. Positions stay as they are, but it's shaping up to be a very hard battle. Pavlacek will have to brake very late, keep Janko on the outside, which he does, onto the marbles, and Pavlacek keeps second position. These guys fighting tooth and nail. Let's see if that gives Arella the opportunity to join the back of this pack. There's already a 3-second gap.
Oh, there's contacts.
Bit of a tap there by Janko, who slows down for Radek to rejoin in front. That will close things right up there at the front. Arella up into P3. Glavac losing out down to P5. Not sure why he waited so long. Might
Yes,
not
very
have, gotten-
congested down to 9th now.
Yes, indeed. Top 10 covered by 10 seconds. And Greg having a 3.5 second gap now at the Visa in 6th spot.
Peter back has been challenged by Yellow Ooms on the inside into turn 1. Peter manages to retain the position.
Yeah, P7 indeed. Aran May in 12th is in 2nd position in the AM Cup. Vizar still in 6th position, leading that class, so might be taking a double win in the class if it stays like this, but still 13.5 minutes to go. And the gap at the front already back down to 2.2 seconds. And Janko P4 behind his teammate. I'm quite sure Ralph will not just let him through.
So Peter's got past Vizar. Peter up into P6 now and just over a second behind Jim ahead.
Yep.
This will be a strange situation for Ralph, really, having a teammate who's probably faster than him.
Yeah, let's see it at last time. 29.0 for Janko, 29.3 for Arella. So indeed, Janko a bit quicker. But of course, he has to be careful not to take his teammate. So that might lose him a bit of time.
Yeah, sure, you saw him getting too close to Radek.
Yeah.
Which is easily done into that braking point into that right-hander after the three triple lefts.
Yeah. Oh, looking at the inside is Janko, but opting against it. Well, he's still only 2.5 seconds off the lead, so nothing to worry about yet.
I never like being in a close battle with my teammates.
No. I fully. It's not the nicest position to be in, especially in this type of cars and on this type of track. You're looking in your rearview mirror even more, thinking, should I brake extra late now to not hold him up, or what should I do?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's,
you lose some of your natural rhythm, don't you?
Yeah. Don't know if they are in a Discord chat together. Let me have a look. No, they're not. So can't talk to each other, it seems. Janko now looking for the inside, and that will be, yes, P3 for Janko now. Legitimate move there for P3, not getting any gifts from his teammate. And Pavlacek closed that 3.5 second gap to Greg Metcalf right down again. Only half a second between them.
Jas Forsberg made steady progress after his opening lap or two off, up to 16th. A 6 second gap ahead of him to Petra, so I'm sure he'll be getting the boot down and making inroads into that gap.
Yeah, and Vlastimir Lucas in P13. He has a 4 second gap in front of him after that incident with Jim. So he's trying to pick up the pieces. And, well, he is only just 13 seconds behind the lead car, so it's still very, very close. And if anything happens there in that group in front, Jelle Ooms, Visa, John Patterson, Tom Korhonen, they're all separated by almost less than a second.
Sorry, Radek's being attacked by Janko through the exit of the last corner.
Oh, good exit for Radek to defend. So it was a bit of good luck for him to get a good exit there.
Yeah, if Janko can get round the outside here, he'll be... Wow. Brilliant move, brilliant.
That was a very late around the outside in that turn. That's impressive.
Always risky braking on the inside into turn 1. I find it's especially with that right-hander afterwards, and Janko just executed it perfectly there.
So now can he make a move on Greg as quickly as he did on Radek? As the top 5 is separated by only 2 seconds now, with less than 10 minutes to go. Janko almost 1.5 seconds quicker on the last lap than Greg.
Janko got a little sideways there, but that seems to be the way.
Yeah, so at the moment it's 77 in second and fourth, and then the CrewChief Megacorp Works team in the third and fifth, and Peter Bakus in sixth, been in a lonely place trying to get close to him and a move around the outside. Oh, he's on the inside. Will that be bad for him? As bad for him as for Rad? It seems he has a bit of better gearing because he seems to have a bit more top speed than the guys next to him, and he takes P1 with 8 minutes to go, starting from P10. Very impressive. Good effort by Greg to keep him behind as long as possible.
Yeah.
And top 5 now separated by 1.2 seconds only.
Fantastic. It's just what we was hoping to see. These race 2s are always a great spectacle with a reverse grid. Really good to watch.
Yep. And it was relatively clean until now. A couple of incidents, but nothing major. No big clusterfucks, let's say.
Aaron May down in 11th will be, what is he, 2 seconds off the lead? The M Cup lead from Zar, so this is a time to make sure he puts all them hours worth of practice to good use.
Indeed. 30.3 was his last lap, and a 30.3 as well for Visa. So nothing between them, but still quite some time to go for him. As Radic goes for the outside line into turn, but he's not close enough to make that move. And Baukus closed right onto the back of this group now. Can Radic go around the outside here?
Well, that's a good place to be now for Radic. I think he might have.
Indeed. That
the
will be
position.
difficult to defend for Greg. And he takes a spot.
Oh.
Oh, Ralph going for the inside.
Amazing.
Well, there's not a lot you can say about that, but very well done, guys. Whew.
No sooner you're attacking, then you're defending in the same move as well as attacking. It's extraordinary stuff. And Peter's on the back of that pack, so you know he'll be itching to make inroads up the leaderboard.
For sure. He's always want to pick up the spots when others make mistakes. And that's because he always has the pace to just be there and try and make a move, of course. But he has gained a lot of spots and taken quite some wins by just keeping it clean and being where he has to be. And the guy's now getting very, very sideways here in these few corners. 5 minutes to go, and the tires are suffering. Let's have a look at the AM Cup lead. I see them there in the background. Visa in the bright color scheme. Here we are, and indeed Visa followed by Tom and John, and then it's Aaron May trying to get as close as he can to that lead spot in the AM Cup. Janko, 1.7 second gap, not a very big gap. And Yellow Ohms once again in 7th spot. Two very nice results for him and the team. John Patterson in in 10th position. So very close braking there by Greg on the inside of Ralph.
Sorry, Jim's got the inside of Ralph through Hotel, so Jim's gained a position.
Yeah, indeed. And now Ralph having to defend from Peter. And Tom Korhonen got past Vizag now, so only one driver, that's John Patterson, between Aaron May and the AM Cup leader Vizag Chicoli, and in the 3rd spot for the AM Cup is Clive Britton. He's about 7 seconds behind those guys. Jim now trying everything he can to get past Greg Metcalf for the last podium spot through this chicane. Wow. Greg really wants to get that podium in. He's very, very close, only 2.5 minutes to go. So that means that we will have about 2 more laps after this one.
Peter's looking to the inside as well on Ralph, but Ralph's got that one covered.
Yep. Looks like he does, yep. We have one retirement here in this race, Raymond Hadders, after his drive-through penalty, probably opted to not continue the race. And Jas Forsberg in 16th, fighting a close battle with Petr Pek.
Yes, close that 6-second gap to Petrus.
Yeah. Only 2 tenths behind now. Oh! Jim on the inside there, but side by side with Ralph through this chicane, and Jim gets out in front. Gives Greg a bit of very nice move there by Jim. From the TV cam, it looks quite civilized, but I can assure you, when you are in the car, it's feels like all hell is breaking loose when you're side by side through that chicane. You're just holding on and hoping you make the corner. Aaron May, less than 1 second behind P1, but he has John Patterson in front of him, between him and Visage. But we stay with this battle for the overall podium. Greg Metcalf, he just has to finish this lap, and he will take that podium for Pulp Friction Racing. And Visage will take the win in the AM Cup, so that's a good good night at the office for the guys.
Aaron May's just got past
yep.
John Patterson, so he's right behind Visage now.
They have a real battle on their hands. If you want to switch the scenes, feel free. But this battle here, as Greg has a bit of a tank slapper. Will he lose 3rd spot? Jim is in front now.
Yes, Jim's got it now.
And he slots in front through the chicane. If he can keep it together, Jim will take the 3rd spot. Looks like he does. Ralph Relak trying to go around the outside into the last turn. And it's dash to the line as Janko Glavac takes the win here at Oschersleben for the 2nd race. Pavlacek in 2nd, Britain in 3rd, Greg Metcalf in 4th, and having a look at the AM Cup now, Aaron 2 tenths behind Visdag. Aaron got within a few hundredths of a second, but he is still behind, so I think he finished behind Visage, but what a great battle also for the AM Cup. Sorry, we'll really show you a lot of it. The action at the front of the pack.
I've got a
exciting.
Got a slow Noel Conn on the start-finish straight. Looks like he's run out of fuel, so he might not make the line.
Indeed, he is rolling still. Will someone put? Nick Hockham is behind him, but he will just. Noel has aborted the race. Very unfortunate for him to not finish that last lap. Also for the Ironman Championship, it's a real shame losing a lap like. There's David Kochka in 22nd, the last of the finishers, and these are the final standings for race 2. Half a second between them for the lead. Then Jim Britton, Greg Metcalf, Ralph Varela, Peter Bacchus, Jelle Ooms, all within 2 seconds of each other. Tom Korhonen, Visage Colli and Aaron May made up the top 10 for this race. Great night racing once again, Simon. I think here Oschersleben really delivering the goods again in this series.
Yeah, it's been another cracker. Round 3 has lived up to its expectations. I half wondered if Tom might Slovies out a bit there, so Aaron would have a chance at having a go at Vizar for the M Cup overall #1, but wasn't to be.
Yeah, it always these kind of races are always too short. You could make them 30 minutes, and then it would still be too short. So it's very very rewarding commentating on this kind of races.
Yeah, a good time to mention our new series that has just been announced this week. So season 31 will be our FR90 series. The FR90s was released this week by Sector 3 in the Race Room update. They are 3 versions of 90s Formula 1 cars. There's a V8 version, a V10 and a V12. And we'll be putting these new cars to the test on over 4 rounds, commencing a week tonight. So slots are going fast for this series. I think there's only 8 left. So if you want to get involved in the action, then you need to head over to RRLeagues.com and get registered for that event as soon as you can. As I say, the first round will be at Spa 1 week tonight. So yeah, get involved with that or any of our other championships. As usual, we've got four series happening for this season, which is our Summer of Thunder season. There's the CrewChief series that we've been racing tonight. Also got the FR Junior series, which we run on a Wednesday. The FR90, as I mentioned, starts a week tonight, and also we have our R Factor 2 series, which is where we use the Enduro Racers Flat 6 mod, and that's on a Wednesday night too. So if you fancy being involved in any of them, head on over to rrleagues.com and we'll extend a warm welcome to you and welcome you onto our grid for what would sure be some good racing in our growing community.
Yeah, indeed. If you like what you see, try to get involved. I think we've seen some great racing in all of the series that have been run already, and I think the FR90 series will be no different. Looking at the driver lineup so far, it will be a cracking series as well. Short but fierce. And well, if you don't have time to race with us on these days, make sure to hit the subscribe button for the channel if you liked what you see, and you can be notified of any future videos or live streams. I think the next live stream will be next Wednesday, when we will have the Formula Race Room Junior Series Season 30 is live streamed with commentary by myself as well. And we've seen some very nice races. The grids are not very big, like in the CrewChief series today, but the racing is as close as ever, with these small little Formula cars with no wings. So get involved in the racing or subscribe to this channel to follow us around, and when you get the opportunity, you will know which series we are running.
Yep. That just about wraps it up for this broadcast tonight, I believe.
Yes.
Thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed what you saw. And the next race in this series, I believe, is at Spa-Francorchamps. So that'll be another classic race in 2 weeks. Hope you can join us for that one. But for tonight, thanks again for watching, and that's good night from me.
Yep, good night everyone, and thanks for watching. See you in 2 weeks.
Cheers.